What really is Know Your Pork? Why is it so important? Who are the major players? And what are their roles in this campaign? Tina Hamilton, brand manager of CB Foods and Nutrimix, answers all these questions.
The Know Your Pork campaign started a little bit over a year ago. We set it up as a 5-year campaign in order for us to get Jamaicans to have an understanding of where their food comes from. Now, in Jamaica, a lot of people are afraid of pork because they really don't know where it comes from. They don't know if it's from eating garbage, or is it raised on a farm, and most places are not branded, so they really have no idea how they can trace back where their food comes from. So we started this process not necessarily to show that Copperwood is the best, because we are, but outside of that, just for people to have an understanding of where their things come from, where their food comes from. Now, we use a system, or there's a system that we developed that kind of has helped a lot of consumers to have a greater understanding of how to assess where their food comes from. We call it the 5 Fs. The first one is the F1s, and that's a type of breed of pig that we use here in Jamaica. Now, a lot of people in Jamaica either cook their pork 2 ways. You can either do it stew or jerk, and that really is because of the type of meats that you would get back in the day, or traditionally the meat was tough, so you had to pressure cook it, and it wasn't so tasty, so you had to add all these seasonings. But now people are realizing you can buy a very nice pork chop or tenderloin and give it just a little bit of seasoning, very low time in cooking, and it's ready quickly, and it is delicious. And one of the reasons is because of the type of breeds that we use. Now, the F1 is created from the Landrace and Yorkshire. Those are the 2 great whites. And we cross those 2, and then the 3rd breed is brought in with the semen. That's a Duroc semen. And with the 3-way cross, that's what we call the perfect market hog. And when you look at that and you see like the marbling inside, and the fats and the meat and everything together gives you such a juicy piece of meat. That is what people are now getting accustomed to in Jamaica, and that comes from the breeds. The second F is a feed. Do not, when you see pigs, the people will feed pigs whatever they want to because they feel like they will just eat it. It's not the same for chicken. So with pigs, it's essential that you know what your farmer is feeding the pigs, so they're not eating swill, what we call like the leftovers from hotels and just garbage essentially. It's not giving them the right nutrition, because whatever nutrition they get is what you get when you eat. The 3rd F is the farms and the farmers. The ones that supply us with pork, and the way that we raise our pigs on our farms are done to top standards. We're ISO, HACCP and GMP certified, all international certifications, so we can send this pork abroad if we want to. So Jamaicans can feel like they're getting the best quality right here at home. Factory is the 4th one. And our plant in Lucy is, of course, has all certifications as well, ISO, GMP and HACCP certifications. And when you look inside, we are of the quality that we can produce for international companies. So when Wendy's came down and they wanted pork, we usually import the pork that they use at Wendy's, but because of our certifications, we were able to supply them with pork, and that way we didn't have to import pork. Isn't that great? The last F is fresh. We ensure that our pork gets, from the time it is processed, it is in a closed area, so there's no flies on it, there's no contamination. And from breakdown to packaging to warehousing, it is all refrigerated, including our trucks that take it from the warehouse to the supermarkets. It's all refrigerated, so you understand that you get a fresh product. And because of those 5 Fs, we can guarantee a certain quality. And what we're doing with the Know Your Pork campaign is allowing our retailers to understand that, to make sure that they're asking the right questions of the people who supply them. What did the pigs eat? Where was it processed? So it's important for us as consumers as well. We ask our retailers, ask our restaurant owners, where did this pork come from? And that is where knowing your pork. That's why the campaign was created, and we've seen so many people adopt it. Now people are asking the right questions, and so because the retailers need to find out where their pork is being processed and how they're grown, the farmers are taking a better interest in how they're raising their animals for us as Jamaicans to eat. So there are two main seminars that we put on the CB group, so between Nutrimix and Copperwood. One is for the farmers called the Pork Production Seminar or Pork Production Workshop, and that's to help them to prepare their place, and we go in with Nutrimix and make sure that they're feeding them properly and that their facilities are up to standard. And the second one is Making the Cut, and that one is done for retailers, supermarket owners, chefs, pork lovers, culinary students. Anybody who's interested in pork can come to that. It's by invitation only though. And that one we're doing this year in July 19th and 20th. And we bring in people from external, from the United States, who can show us different cuts. And if they want more information, always just follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Copperwood Pork, and you can get a ton of information there. And also they can go on the website doyouknowyourpork.com. And a part of the Know Your Pork campaign is one of the seminars that we have called the Pork Production Workshop, where we meet with all the major players in pork rearing. And one of the reasons for that is because we, unlike other industries, it's not really monitored in the same way. So what we find is that there are gluts and shortages of pork. So when a glut comes around and the pig prices or pork prices are high, everybody runs into it because, oh, I can make money. But nobody knows how many people are going in. What we're hoping and what we've been asking farmers to do is, before you even get into the market, make sure that you have an end game. Make sure you have a market for your pork. Don't go in because you see a friend making money off of pork and you think that, oh, I have this little money, I can invest it. Because it takes so much longer for you to get a return on your money from pigs. So if you don't know where those pigs are being sold at the end of that, you're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. So that's essential. As a farmer, you must have your market set up before you even begin, because it's gonna cause trouble at the end of it and you may just find yourself losing money. What we like to do is make sure that people who are on board with Copperwood, because a lot of people, a lot of consumers, they already know where Copperwood gets their pork from, how we process it, how they're grown, what they eat, all that sort of stuff. And they feel comfortable with it. So the people who come on board with us, retailers, supermarket owners, restaurant owners, we make sure that we feature them. So if anyone is afraid of pork and they want to go out and eat pork and feel comfortable with the brand that they're eating, we make sure that we showcase them. Jojo's, we're at Jojo's right now. It's one of my favorite spots for jerk pork. I come here all the time and I recommend this place all the time because I know the pork that you're getting is Copperwood pork. So you can close your eyes and eat it. If you go on our website or on our social media pages, you'll find lists of which supermarkets you can go to get Copperwood pork or which restaurants. And you know, hopefully the industry will get to that point where we won't need to question anything at all.